Welcome to Celebrial, where the drama spills fast and the secrets never stay hidden. Grab your tea, because today's story is wild. Let's get into it. J. Prince tried to hit 50 Cent with that classic old-school check-in move. Like 50 was just another rapper sliding into Houston looking for validation. But 50 wasn't having any of it. Instead of bowing down, he flipped the whole thing and called the check-in system exactly what it is: control disguised as respect.
I got out there, they showed me a lot of love. But Shreveport had the infrastructure already here. Like even the tax incentive was put.
Oh yeah. And so a lot of people have been talking about, man, he's here only because they gave him a cheap deal or something like that. The reality is there's more to that deal.
Yes.
Way more.
They can't see it.
Right now.
I'm spending $20 million this year anyway, in the same building that they're saying was the cheap building.
Right.
So find somebody else to.
He basically told J. Prince, "Try me if you want." And instantly, years of quiet tension between Houston's silent enforcer and New York's bulletproof bully turned into open-air rivalry. But trust me, this didn't come out of nowhere. That heat has been simmering for years. J. Prince, the architect of Rap-A-Lot Records, isn't your average music mogul. He's the blueprint of the street executive. Calm, calculated, and feared more than he's seen. In Houston, people don't just respect him. They move carefully around his name.
Me, a nigga who pick who he fight with.
Right.
Like if you see when you I'm not going because this.
I won't for him, but
yeah, I think I can take him.
Right.
You want to fight the nigga you think you can.
Because when you step into a city without checking in, you're not just traveling. You're gambling with your peace, your jewelry, and your reputation. And that's where 50 steps in. The one man who's built an entire career off never following anybody's rules. Since day one, he's been at war: Ja Rule, Irv Gotti, Murder Inc., all of them. His whole origin story starts with defiance, and Houston was never going to be the city that broke that streak. 50 built G-Unit on one principle: never bow to nobody, no checking in, no kissing rings, no paying gatekeepers just to exist. That mindset didn't just make him successful, it made him dangerous. Because a man who refuses to play the game threatens everyone who profits from it. So when rumors started swirling that 50 was setting up heavy business moves in Houston, things got tense fast.
With older people, they're the last to know that things have changed. We not your little niggas. Like, the way you talking, I don't get what you mean. We're not your little niggas. Like, for real, all that big homie stuff, that's for little niggas. Little niggas have big homies. We're not little niggas, so we don't even respect big homies. I know Killer doesn't, and for me, I never respected niggas in the streets. That's why I always got the problems.
This wasn't about music anymore. It was territory, pride, and power. Two heavyweight egos headed straight toward collision. J. Prince had Houston on a leash. Every major move, every major name went through him. But 50 Cent wasn't some random visitor looking for approval. He was a walking declaration of war, a one-man rebellion against the entire check-in culture. And both sides knew, if this went down, it wasn't going to be quiet. So when 50 touched down in H-Town and didn't check in with J. Prince, that wasn't just disrespect. That was a statement. A full-blown power move broadcast loud and clear. And 50 didn't whisper it. He performed it. At first, it played out like a Cold War. Side-eyed posts, coded shade, silent tension from coast to coast. 50 in New York, running his empire and trolling like it's cardio. J. Prince in Houston, calm and unbothered, running the city like it owed him rent. But the silence cracked the moment 50 dropped that tweet. A simple post that hit like a declaration. I love New York, but I live in Houston now. I'll explain later. Short, cold, cryptic. And the internet exploded. Clips, comments, chaos. Then came the moment nobody expected. 50 standing tall on that parade float, smiling like he'd been born and raised in the H. No panic, no security stress, just pure, unshakable confidence. The kind that makes even the quietest king feel challenged.
City of Houston, but he didn't just come here to live. He has been helping out on so many causes in this city. And especially, he has been in our high schools, turning our high school students into entrepreneurs with his Unity Camp program. I've seen him firsthand. This city has been elevated because of his presence. And so today we have the honor of saying to him, he's our 2022 Grand Marshal. Give it up to Curtis 50 Jackson. Now, before I call on him to speak, let me present you first a key to the city of Houston. Anywhere you go, 550 buildings, use the key, the door will swing wide.
Make no mistake, that move wasn't random. It was chess. New York taxes were draining his empire dry. Houston offered everything he needed: space, business-friendly laws, and a booming hip-hop culture ready to crown its next heavyweight. And don't forget Branson Cognac, his pride, his brand. To take it nationwide, he needed a southern stronghold, a nightlife city where bottles move like water. Houston was the perfect battlefield, and H-Town was that gold mine. 50 wasn't just moving in, he was planting a flag. But here's the twist. He did it without checking in.
Hey, I don't want no friends, I don't want no new relationships. All that. Hey, I don't respect none of that shit, man. If you got something for me, man, they got plenty around me you could call. Man, nigga, it's plenty ways you can get in touch with me. Man, don't get on no internet and do nothing publicly. Don't do nothing dealing with no publicity, none of that pussy and shit. And I'm good on the keys, gangster. When you buy shit cash, two keys come with the car anyway. Man, you this, man.
To a man like Jay Prince, that wasn't business. That was disrespect. In Houston, stepping into the city without acknowledging the king is like walking into the lion's den and staring straight at the lion. Word spread fast. Whispers turned into stories. Stories turned into rumors. People were saying Jay Prince sent folks to apply pressure, soft threats, quiet visits, subtle warnings. Some even claimed he expected 50 to pay for what they called street-level protection. But 50? Nah. He doesn't flinch. He told his crew straight up, G-Unit rolls with their own. We ain't paying no man just to breathe in his city.
Nothing should have happened. What do you say to that?
What I would say to that is, I have a track record, man, and the Prince family have a track record of 30 plus years of, you know what I mean, honoring and loving on our guests and being with our guests, and no shit like this never happened. But here's the thing, and this is what people don't understand. We ain't never had nobody to attack us. If you know what I mean. You know, when a man attack a situation with a weapon, then, you know, it become a playing field where, you know, any and everything go.
And Mike and Junior was walking by. He actually went in the restroom to wash blood off his hand where he had reached up on the takeoff. He had to pick him up and his fingers went in it. You know why? Blood was.
Because for 50, respect isn't something you purchase. You earn it. And if you come at him sideways, he'll make sure the whole world watches you get checked publicly. So what happened next? Word is Jay Prince allegedly hit 50 with a no-fly zone. Translation? You're not welcome in Houston. That might scare smaller artists, the ones still begging for a seat at the table. But 50?
Maybe we need to change the word for the youngsters. The checking in part, you know, is they seem to get hung up on that word checking in.
Yeah.
So if we could diversify that word and bring it up to a 2021 thing.
Right. What's the word, OG? What's the word?
Yeah, maybe we may want to tell them they need to get connected. You stuck on stupid, right?
Yeah.
You're stuck on stupid, and you're not using your powers or access to powers that you have. You're looking at it as a negative versus a positive. You know, we all know if you can tap into good people wherever you go.
Wherever.
You know what I mean? It's a blessing, Rick.
Real.
He is the table. Instead of backing down, he flipped it into entertainment. IG went crazy. Memes flooded timelines. 50 turned the whole situation into a comedy special. He mocked the check-in culture like it was some outdated mob ritual. And to pour gasoline on the fire, he even dared Jay Prince to respond publicly. It was petty. It was strategic. It was pure 50.
Don't turn me down. What you said? Don't turn me down. What you on, folks? Don't turn you down. Yeah, man. What you on, folks? What you mean what I'm on? What you on, man? What the deal there? What up? What up? You want to buy your shit back or what? You ain't get you flunked out ass little nigga. I'm trying to see where you at. You dumb mother. What you got? $20 out of cup? Nah, nigga. You know what we got, nigga. Stop that cap. Man. Hey, the motherfucker. Capping, bro. They gonna believe anything in nigga. So start my car. I just took a picture in the same car today with my little boy. You on this like y'all.
I got a call, you know what I mean, because the little homie young boy place got broke into. He went in his place, disrespected different things, and I got a call about it. And the little homies that went into this place want to make that right because they understand that, you know what I mean, young boy family is okay with me. And as you can see, homie, to make a long story short, I got your keys to your Rolls Royce. I got your keys to your McLaren, all that shit that they took. And the homie, Shakur, what you got, homie?
We got your Rolls Royce umbrellas. We got your keys. We got a bunch of other shit, so.
But beneath all the trolling, the tension was real. Because behind the scenes, 50 was building something massive. A $20 million G-Unit film and TV studio planted right in Houston. Jobs, internships, production. A whole new empire rising in the South. It was about to make H-Town a new media capital. Then, out of nowhere, boom, the whole project gets yanked and moved to Shreveport, Louisiana. Publicly, 50 played it cool, said it was about better infrastructure. But everybody plugged in knows that was cap. It wasn't about power lines. It was about power plays. Houston politics were getting too grimy, too unpredictable. And 50? He doesn't dance with snakes, he moves the whole stage. Cuts the grass, packs the empire, relocates the bag. And here's where it gets poetic. Jay Prince might have tried to freeze him out of the city, but Houston had other plans. Because just 1 year after 50 touched down, the city didn't just tolerate him, they embraced him like family. In 2022, right there at the Thanksgiving Day parade, Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner handed 50 Cent a key to the city. The crowd went nuts, cameras flashing, the streets roaring. Mayor Turner grabbed the mic and called 50 a philanthropist, an entrepreneur. Thanked him for giving back to the youth through his G-Unity program. Meanwhile, the streets were buzzing. Hold up, Jay Prince tried to block him, and now the city is crowning him? And there he was, 50 standing tall on that parade float, waving like Houston royalty, smiling like he'd been running the city his whole life. And honestly, by then, he kinda was, because this wasn't PR, it wasn't for clout, it was real. Through the G-Unity Foundation, 50 was giving back heavy. Turkey drives, toy giveaways, school donations, real boots-on-the-ground work that touched families across the H. And he didn't do it alone. He teamed up with the Houston Rockets, Texans, and Astros, running it all through his Sire Spirits brand. The same man they said wouldn't be welcome ended up owning the moment. No beef, no check-in, no permission, just legacy. 50 didn't bend the rules. He rewrote them. And that's why, love him or hate him, you can't deny his game. Every time they try to box him out, he just builds a bigger stage. And if you made it this far, hit that subscribe, like, and drop a comment. Because this is just another chapter in the saga of 50 Cent. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. By 2023, 50 wasn't just living in Houston, he was invested in it. That year alone, he dropped over $850,000 worth of toys into the hands of Houston kids. No bragging, no headlines, just impact. Then came 2024, and instead of slowing down, he turned the pressure up again. At his charity event, he auctioned off 2 massive bottles of Le Chemin du Roi champagne, raising $500,000 for the Houston Children's Charity. And the event itself pulled in $6 million total. While 50 was getting applause from city officials, celebrities, and grateful families. J. Prince was allegedly watching from the sidelines, the same man who used to control Houston's respect, like currency. Now watching another boss celebrated in broad daylight. That's gotta sting. And just when people thought things might cool off, Tony Yayo, G-Unit's loudest voice, jumped in on Vlad TV and lit the room on fire. Yayo broke it down plain. The reason G-Unit never checked in anywhere? Simple. It's a hustle, bro. You check in, you pay up, or you get lined up. That's the blueprint. Then he added the part that shook the internet. That J. Prince built his whole reputation on being the protector of artists in Houston. But, according to Yayo, it was never about safety. It was about control. Respect packaged as protection. Loyalty disguised as leverage. A friendly system with a heavy price tag. At first glance, it sounds like just another street custom. But once you peel it back, it's basically glorified extortion wrapped in tradition. Because if you're an artist landing in Houston, there's an expectation. You check in with J. Prince and his circle. Or you find out the hard way what happens when you don't. And here's where things get grimy. NBA YoungBoy pulled up to Houston on business. No check-in, no warning, just straight confidence. Next thing you know, his spot gets hit. Chains gone, cash gone. Car keys missing. You can call it coincidence, but the streets don't believe in coincidences, especially not when the same people offering protection are the same people you might need protection from. That's not safety. That's extortion with a smile. Then, out of nowhere, J. Prince pops up on Instagram, acting like the hero of the story, talking about how he retrieved YoungBoy's stolen goods. Flexing online like he was the neighborhood savior, but instead of making a private call, he blasted it to the whole world like a press release. And YoungBoy? He wasn't having it at all. He clapped back instantly, calling it exactly what it looked like, a stunt. Said if J. Prince really wanted to help, he wouldn't be online flexing for likes like some 60-year-old clout chaser. Disrespectful? Absolutely. But also, a lot of people agreed. Cameron and Ma Dollar E jumped in too, publicly dragging J. Prince for trying to play mob boss in 2025. They said it plain. Real OGs uplift. They don't extort. And the way they put it was ice cold. If you're pushing 60 and still trying to run the block instead of the boardroom, that ain't power. That's failure. But the story doesn't stop there, because there's another side to J. Prince's reputation. The dice games, his second favorite pastime, right after intimidation. These weren't friendly weekend rolls. They were high-stakes setups with deep money and deeper tension. And in Houston, everybody knows those dice games never end with just laughter. They end with stories. And lately, those stories have been getting darker. For years, whispers have been floating through the industry that those dice games weren't just games. They were setups. Rigged scenes designed to line up rappers who didn't play by the rules. And the most heartbreaking example, Takeoff. Everybody remembers that night. The chaos, the confusion, the silence that followed. But behind the headlines, the streets were whispering something darker. Word is J. Prince was allegedly heated that Takeoff and Quavo didn't check in when they landed in Houston. The rumor? He told his people to teach them a lesson, not hurt them, just remind them. But it went left, way left. And instead of a message, the world lost a legend. After Takeoff's death, J. Prince went quiet. Real quiet. No accountability, no ownership. Just deflection, distraction, and damage control. Anytime the topic came up, he'd mumble through interviews, acting like it was all just a misunderstanding. But the internet doesn't forget. And the streets noticed something even worse. At one point, J. Prince practically admitted to destroying evidence. Yeah, evidence. Let that sink in. And the craziest part? Takeoff wasn't the only one caught in that type of chaos. Remember Duke the Jeweler? Young brother hit big at one of those infamous Houston dice games. Walked out with over $100,000, probably feeling on top of the world. Before he even made it back to his car, shots fired. Another life gone. Different night. Same circle. Same silence afterward. And through all of it, one truth kept echoing. In Houston, respect is a currency. But when the wrong people control the money, the innocent end up paying the price. Ambushed, robbed, gone. All over what? A rigged dice game and a fake street code that's been protecting the wrong people for far too long. Put that next to 50 Cent out here building community centers, donating toys, funding schools, and creating real opportunities. And there's no comparison. One man's building legacy. The other's still trying to rule through fear. And here's the part nobody's really talking about. 50 ain't trolling for fun anymore. Behind the jokes, the memes, the smirks, there's a mission. Word on the street is he's been collecting receipts quietly, carefully, strategically, talking to people behind the scenes, connecting dots, stacking evidence. Because according to insiders, this whole check-in system isn't about safety. It's about extortion, a full-blown underground network disguised as respect. And lately, 50's been dropping subtle hints that federal eyes are already watching. He's not the type to bluff. When 50 moves, it's chess, not checkers. Those little Instagram posts, not random, distractions. The real work is happening in silence. And when it surfaces, somebody's empire might crumble. Whether he's building a legal case or prepping for the ultimate exposure, one thing's clear. We're just one post, one leaked convo, or one quiet federal tip away from the fall of J. Prince's entire operation. Because let's be real, every street code has an expiration date, and the moment the wrong man starts playing by real laws instead of street laws, the whole game flips. One man may still have the streets, but the other, he's got the city unlocked. At this point, only one of them is clearly winning the war. 50 Cent didn't just move to Houston, he took it over. While J. Prince was allegedly out here trying to strong-arm artists and flex old-school fear, 50 was shaking hands with the mayor, riding parade floats, and building programs that change lives. That's not ego. That's impact. That's power with purpose. Meanwhile, the old check-in empire is crumbling, shaky, fragile, standing on one last leg. The same streets that once moved in silence are now speaking out loud. So the real question is, who runs Houston now? The quiet street boss lurking in the shadows? Or the man holding the literal key to the city? You tell us, is 50 going too far? Or is he the hero hip-hop didn't even know it needed? The one finally exposing the dark side of the industry's unspoken rules? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you're rocking with the truth, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next chapter. Because trust me, it only gets messier from here. See you in the next video.